everybody. If you're new here, I want to welcome you. My name is Denise, and I'm so happy that you're here. Today, I'm going to share with you a technique, a method that I created about 6 months ago. And it is called the 7 by 7 method. It's 7 tools in 7 minutes to help reduce stress and anxiety. And I can't really take credit for the techniques that I'm about to share with you because they are techniques that were created by other people, by yoga thousands of years ago. But I did find a way, actually accidentally. I put them all together. I've been using these tools for quite some time to help myself reduce stress and anxiety. And I was having a stressful moment, and I actually went into my room, closed the door, sat down on my bed, and I just started doing them all for about a minute each. And I know it was definitely under 10 minutes. And when I finished, I honestly wasn't even doing it consciously. When I finished, I felt so much better. And I realized that there was something to this. So, and let's see, I created the book. I ended up writing the book and sharing all this scientific backed data on how these tools and techniques help us and what they do inside our bodies as far as reducing the stress hormone cortisol or adrenaline, regulating the vagus nerve, which is very important. So I'm going to go ahead and begin. So it's called the 7 by 7 method. It's 7 tools in 7 minutes to help reduce stress and anxiety. And the first one is probably my all-time favorite. And this is something that I've been using for many, many years. It's called tapping. Another name for it, or the real name for it, is EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. And with EFT tapping, what they found is we have these meridian points in our body, and these are the same points that during acupuncture, when you have like the little needles get stuck into your body. What they realize is just gently tapping on these meridian points has almost the same effect as actual acupuncture. So this is my go-to. There's several different meridian points, and in future videos I will go through the whole process of EFT. But for today, for right now, starting with the first tool technique in this awesome toolbox that I'm sharing with you, the points are right here underneath your collarbones. So basically you just gently tap, and you want to do this for approximately a minute, at least a minute actually. You can do it longer, whatever feels good for you. I created this for something to work for people quickly in under 10 minutes, and it does help, but the longer you do it, the more calming effects you're going to feel. So we just gently tap underneath the collarbones. You can just do one side if you'd like, or both. I do both. All right, you can do that for about a moment. And the second technique is another one of my favorites. This technique is called the physiological sigh, and it is proven to work. The only thing that they've actually found thus far to work in real time to help somebody if they're under a lot of stress or going through a panic or an anxiety attack. And if you're familiar with Dr. Huberman, Dr. Andrew Huberman, he's a professor at Stanford. He has a wonderful YouTube channel, and he's a doctor. Anyhow, he's wonderful. Neuroscience and ophthalmology, I believe I'm correct. Anyhow, he did a YouTube video on this, and the cool thing about the physiological sigh is it's something that all mammals do. We all do it. You might have seen a little baby while they're asleep, and they do this, right? Or after maybe you've cried really hard, you're trying to catch your breath. All right, but this time, for the sake of the method and for the sake of using it to help calm your nervous system down, what you're going to do is you're going to inhale in through your nose, take a deep breath in, At the top of the breath, you're going to take an extra sip of air, and then you're going to exhale out with a long audible sound, extending your exhale longer than your inhale. So I'm going to show you an example right now. Deep breath in through my nose, extra sip, exhale out. Let's do that together. Now, sometimes if you do too many, some people might experience a little bit of dizziness. I don't particularly, but it could happen. So for the sake of the second technique, if you do feel any lightheadedness or dizziness, just do it 3 times, but at least do it 3 times because that's what's been proven to help people calm down when they're anxious or going through a panic attack. All right? And just to note, you don't have to be somebody that's dealing with anxiety to benefit from these tools. These are wonderful tools. And we live in a very stressful world, unfortunately, very stressful times. And it's important to keep ourselves calm. And unfortunately, a lot of people are very burnt out, very stressed out. And I believe it's because we're just, doing too much and not taking the time for self-care and slowing down and using tools such as these to calm the nervous system down. All right. So let's do that a couple times together. Just deep breath in. All right. Definitely has a very calming effect. All right. The third technique in this method is called box breathing. And if you're not familiar with that, it's another breathing exercise that actually our military uses it, firefighters. It's used sometimes in emergency rooms when people are coming in with high blood pressure or anxiety or just super stressed out, or maybe it's a really tragic situation and they need to get the patient to calm down. Our firefighters and military personnel use it because they use it before they go into really scary situations to calm themselves so that they can handle what's they're facing ahead. All right, so with this box breathing, you're going to inhale to a count of 4, then you pause your breath for 4 seconds, then you exhale for 4 seconds, and then again you pause for 4 seconds. So I'm going to show you an example really quickly. So inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Let's do that together a few times. So take a deep breath in, pause, exhale, pause. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Again, inhale, pause, exhale, pause. One last time, inhale, pause, exhale, pause. All right, check in with yourself for a second. How are you feeling? If you're doing these techniques with me, how do you feel a little calmer? You should. All right. So the next technique is another EFT tapping, but this time I'm gonna take my glasses off. This time it's underneath the eyes. So it's the meridian point right here, the bone, right underneath your eyes. And you just gently tap. You can do both eyes, or you can just do one eye. We're gonna do that for a moment. You can close your eyes while you're doing this if you like. This one in particular has also been proven scientifically. They've done swabs of people's mouths after they do these techniques, and they have scientifically been proven to reduce the stress hormones, which help calm the nervous system down and regulate our nervous systems. Gets us out of that fight or fight. Alrighty. Couple more seconds. of these techniques that I'm sharing with you are beneficial even just on their own. So, for an example, this one, this is my go-to. After a time of my period of my life where I was dealing with severe anxiety, it became so debilitating that I ended up not able to even leave my house. So it developed into agoraphobia. And if I did have to leave the house, say I was out with friends or something, they laugh at me because this was me. But it calmed me down. And these techniques truly do work. And if you are new to me and you haven't, followed my podcast or we haven't met, the reason why I share these techniques and the reason why I'm here and creating this beautiful community is because I have suffered with severe anxiety, agoraphobia, depression, and I promised God that if I could overcome these issues in my life, that I would dedicate my life to sharing the tools that help me with as many people as possible. My original goal was 1 million people, and I'm getting pretty close to that actually because I do have a podcast, but we'll talk about that later. All right, so the next technique, let's see, we started off with, I just get a little sidetracked. So we started off with tapping, then we did the physiological sigh, then we did box breathing, and then we just tapped again. The fifth technique is something that's called the havening technique. And if you have some time, unfortunately we don't have time today for me to get into detail with all of them, but if you'd like, I do have a book on Amazon. It's called the 7x7 Method, 7 Tools in 7 Minutes to Help Reduce Stress and Anxiety. It's very affordable. It's only $7. And yes, there is a theme going on there. You can purchase a book or you can just simply do a Google search and search up these techniques. Now, the havening technique is also known as havening touch. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you. So basically, havening touch is where you just rub your hands together. And there are two brothers, I want to say either neuroscientists or psychologists that created this technique. What they found when they're doing scans is that it also, these movements produce the delta brain waves. Those are very relaxing brain waves. This technique is very helpful for anybody that just wants to settle down a little bit to somebody that's dealing with extreme trauma such as PTSD. Another movement you can do is just taking your hands from the shoulders down to your elbows. Just a gentle caress and touch. This can seem so awkward, unfortunately, to so many of us because if somebody, a friend of ours or a loved one came to us and they were upset and distraught, our instinctive reaction, most of us, is to comfort them, hug them, touch them, it'll be okay. But we don't think that it's okay to do these things to ourselves. And that's very sad because we should be the most important people in our lives, and self-care is so important. And what happens when we don't is you end up with a very dysregulated nervous system when you're so highly stressed and taking care of everybody else. And trust me, I know this for a fact because I've experienced it. So now it is I make myself a priority right now. And that's not selfish, that's important because in order for me to be a good parent, to be a good partner, to be here showing up and be creative and helpful to the world, I have to take care of myself first. So I didn't always make it a priority. Actually, I got really burnt out, but now I do. And these are the things that I practice. So, all right, so that's a havening touch. So again, gentle rubbing of the hands, nice pressing down the arms, and then you can even do your thighs, just rubbing up and down your thighs. Again, there's science backing this technique, so if you have the time, check it out. All right. The next technique is another one of my favorites, and this is called heart coherence breathing. And what we're going to do is we're going to place our left hand over our chest, our right hand on top of our left hand, and we're going to take some nice deep breaths in through our nose and exhale out. But what you are going to do is, as you inhale, you're going to imagine that you're breathing into your heart space. And as you exhale, I want you to imagine that you're exhaling from the heart space. So you can close your eyes. I like to close my eyes when I do this. Take a deep breath in, breathing into the heart center. Exhale out. Another little thing I like to do when I'm doing this is when I breathe in, I imagine I'm breathing love into every cell of my body. And as I exhale, I'm sending love to everybody in the universe. And that's including people that have hurt me. And we will be talking a lot about forgiveness and a lot about overcoming resentment in this community, because it is one of the ways and one of the secret ingredients to happiness and abundance. So it's very important. So deep breath in through the nose, into the heart. Exhaling from the heart. If you'd like more information on heart coherence breathing, you can check out the Heart Math Institute for more information. That's where I've done my study. So, okay. And let's see. I think this is the last one. So the last one is a deep diaphragmatic breath with buzzing sound at the end. Excuse me. So we're going to sit up straight. Actually, you can lie down for this one. It's a really good breathing technique to begin your day with or end your day with. So if you are out and you're around other people and you don't want to make the buzzing bee sound because you're embarrassed, that's okay. But please consider taking advantage of this very wonderful breath, because when you make the buzzing sound at the end with the exhale, what you're doing is you're going to feel it in your throat. You're activating the vagus nerve, and you're regulating the vagus nerve. And that's very important, especially for those of us that have dysregulated nervous systems. We want to regulate the vagus nerve so we come back into a state of calmness and peace. Also, the vagus nerve communicates with every organ in our body, including our brain. So if you're highly stressed, or you're somebody that can't slow down all the thoughts, and you're having a lot of negative thoughts, and you're ruminating thoughts, a lot of times you're overstressed and your vagus nerve is dysregulated, maybe just even a little. Because what happens with the vagus nerve is it begins in the brain, it goes down the entire body. It's a floating vein, but it communicates to every organ in our body. And when this is happening, you're really highly stressed, you're having a lot of negative thoughts, that's your amygdala. That's what's going on. So don't even be mad at yourself. This is, especially if you've been going through a lot of grief, or you've been under a lot of stress for a very long time. Our amygdala gets dysregulated. And the Havening technique is wonderful to calm down the amygdala, or I like to call it negative Nancy. And also regulating the vagus nerve, so doing the humming. A lot of times, I don't know if you're familiar with Om, but yogis, I'm sorry, I have a friend that's behind me right now and trying to make me laugh. I'm recording from my living room. They're out on my back patio. I apologize for him. Okay, so when you see people, yogis oming, a lot of people think that's really weird and it's some woo-woo stuff. No, it is science. Yoga has been around prior to religions, and yoga is a science. A lot of people don't understand that. So all the oming and the chanting and the asanas, the postures, and the pranayama, the breathing, they are all science. It's all science. And we are so fortunate to have had the yogis, and all the lineages that have carried on since then, and eventually it came over here where I am right now in the West. But in any case, it's not wacky woo weird stuff. We're just not comfortable doing it around people because it's not something that we probably grew up doing. But please, go in your backyard, Do it in your home when no one's there. You're going to stimulate the vagus nerve and you're going to feel so much better for it. So let's take a deep breath in and buzzing breath out. Your teeth should be apart, your lips closed. So inhale. You can close your eyes if you like when you're doing this. Inhale. All right, again. This is a 7-7 method, and it has helped me so much. And it is my hope that you take advantage of learning these tools and implementing them into your life. So once again, if you're new, I want to welcome you. Please leave a comment in the chats underneath if this video helped you. Let me know where you're from. If we don't know one another, send me a picture of your pets. We're going to be sharing a lot in this community, and I'm super excited about it. So I'm looking forward to just communicating with all of you. And the cool thing is that you can communicate with one another as well. So I'm really just, my goal is to build this beautiful community of like-minded, awesome people in a safe space that we can share and learn things to help calm our nervous systems down and also live a real happy, abundant life. All right, take care. Until next time. Namaste.